Right, so hello and welcome back to another 90-Day Fiancé video on Arthur TV. Today we're looking at part 12 of 43-year-old Danielle and her 28-year-old Tunisian husband Mohamed. So last time out, we caught up with the two of them following Mohamed's return to Miami. After months of arguing over how to end their marriage, they have finally decided to get a divorce, with Mohamed telling Danielle that if she pulled the annulment that would get him kicked out of the country, the pair could remain friends going forward. However, despite sending him a constant barrage of emails, texts and calls, Danielle still hasn't heard from Mohamed since he left Ohio several weeks ago. Having then stumbled upon his address after he changed his details on their joint bank account, Danielle has booked herself a plane ticket to go visit him and find out what's going on. Danielle has now arrived in Miami and is in a taxi on her way to the hotel. She's left Mohamed another voicemail and 2 more texts letting him know that she's here, but still she's heard nothing back. However, that hasn't dampened her spirits, and she still firmly believes that there's a chance that she can save their marriage.
We agreed to file for a divorce, but I decided I really don't want a divorce. I still love him, and I want to be married to him. I hope Mohamed agrees to see me, and hopefully this trip will have a happy ending.
I think there would have been a better chance at a happy ending if she had at least waited for him to agree before flying out to Miami. And if he said that he didn't want to see her, she also wouldn't have wasted all that money on a plane ticket. But then again, maybe deep down a part of her realised that he was never going to agree to see her. So maybe it was just a formality and she was going to show up whether he liked it or not.
I'm going to call Mohamed to set up a time to meet. If he don't answer, I'm just gonna show up at his apartment. This could be a romantic vacation if everything goes right.
This woman is insane. The fact that she's happy to just show up at his house completely uninvited is actually quite scary. And to laugh about it is even worse. If this was a guy stalking a woman across the country, especially one with a violent past, I'm not sure the producers would have even allowed this to happen. Thankfully, even though he's not responding, Mohamed has been reading the messages, so he is at least aware of the potential danger.
She's coming from Ohio to Miami just to find me. That's crazy. I'm going to the police station to file for a police report because Danielle is coming and I have to protect myself. Hi.
Hi.
So I asked my friend Gracie to come with me.
I wonder if Mohamed sees her showing up like this as almost a good thing. If he files a report against her and then she shows up at his house uninvited, gets aggressive and potentially trespasses on his property, he's going to have some pretty solid evidence to legitimize all of the reasons that he claims he left Danielle. With the divorce not yet finalized, his status as a US citizen isn't entirely secure yet, and I think Danielle is massively strengthening his hand here. But before we head to the station with Mohamed and Gracie, a quick message from today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, who are now celebrating their 3rd anniversary as one of the top RPG games out there. And one of the biggest reasons they've been so successful for so long is that they've been consistently adding amazing content to the game. There was the Doom Tower, which brought a whole new world of terrifying bosses to slay over 120 levels, a whole new faction called Shadowkin, a tribe of warriors from the Far East, constant champions being added to the breathtaking collection of hundreds of unique characters and bosses in the game, and of course, the newest and biggest addition to the game, the Hydra Clan boss. This absolute monster has multiple heads that each have a different ability and require a different strategy to destroy. Whilst the head regeneration can be a tough challenge, it's absolutely worth the hard-fought battle, because this boss gives some of the best artifacts in the game. Raid have a full month of special events and tournaments to celebrate the milestone, with some of their best ever prizes on offer. If you aren't playing yet, use the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen for a free birthday package worth $40. You will get 3 free champions, 10 magic XP brews, 10 force XP brews, and 10 spirit brews. Plus, whether you're a new or an existing player, you can enter the promo code 3YearsRaid to get a bunch of free birthday gifts worth $25. All of these rewards will be found in-game right here. Huge thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. Now let's head to the station with Mohamed and Gracie.
It's really, really crazy how she goes after someone and just like fly from a state to another and show up in somebody's door and say, hey, I'm here, I want to talk. Coming to harass me, that's wrong. You cannot do that.
Yeah, he definitely knows what she's up to, doesn't he? Like, she's not come all this way for a coffee and a catch-up, has she? As soon as they meet face to face, it is gonna kick off. Harassment is definitely the right word as well. And with what we've heard about Danielle's violent tendencies on the saga so far, I'm actually quite worried for him.
Danielle, sometimes she get physical with like, you know, throwing things on me or like pushing me and that stuff. So I have to protect myself. I don't understand why she doesn't just leave me alone and go.
Because maybe she's crazy?
Yeah, she's crazy. Normal people, they don't do this.
You know, the longer this saga goes on and the more we hear about how Danielle treated Mohamed, the more I lose sympathy for her. Even though there's been a lot to criticize her for, she hasn't had an easy ride, and it was quite sad to see her get left heartbroken by someone who never really loved her. But it's quite hard for anyone to feel bad for someone who was quite clearly an abusive partner. And I'm not surprised that the number of sympathetic comments from you guys towards her have decreased the more we've heard about how she behaves behind closed doors.
The police report is going to hell for the divorce and the immigration because they will ask for proof. If I say she did this for me, they will say prove it. If I don't prove it, they will never believe me. The immigration need to know the truth.
I wonder if he's kind of baiting her out a little bit with all of this. Like, she doesn't ever seem to actually accept that the marriage is over, no matter how many times he says quite clearly that he has absolutely no interest in her. I wonder if he's thinking that it's better that he doesn't reply so that she does show up, and then he can use that to get a restraining order and finally be free of her once and for all.
This is the worst possible scenario that can happen to me. I am trying to be careful. I know Danielle and the way she handles stuff, it's weird. And sometimes she does things that makes me feel scared. I need to file a report against my wife.
You know what's crazy? This is the 10th police report he's filed against her now. When we first caught up with him after he left for Miami with Louisa, I said that he had filed 8. So this is the second time that he's done it since he left her. I actually looked them up and some of the stuff she's on record for is crazy. One time he reported her for creating fake social media profiles pretending to be him and uploading edited photos and fake statuses to make him look bad. Another report he filed against her was for stealing $54 from him and just refusing to give it back. And of course there were the reports he filed against Danielle and her daughters for destroying his belongings and throwing them onto the front lawn on the night he left her. I'm guessing that this time, with all the information that the police had on her, that he was advised to de-escalate the situation and get in contact with her and basically tell her not to come and to go back to Ohio. Because shortly after leaving the station, Danielle called Mohamed and he actually answered this time.
Hello? This is Danielle.
What?
I'm here in Miami and I wanted to stay at your meeting with me tomorrow.
And why are you coming to me? Why do you want to meet me here?
Because we have some things that we need to talk about.
It's mad how she doesn't even try to be like, oh, I miss you, like I haven't heard from you in a while, I was worried about you, I miss you as a friend, let's catch up, let's go hang out, or any of that kind of stuff. She just jumps in with a heavy, we have things we need to talk about, like he's in trouble for something. It just immediately sets such a negative tone and blows any chance of a friendly reunion out the window. Stuff like this is exactly why he left her in the first place, and now he's just going to be thinking to himself like, for goodness sakes, here we go again.
Anything to do with you, I'm tired of it.
Mohamed.
Don't understand, you don't get it?
Mohamed.
What?
I gave you the opportunity in Ohio to talk, so you can return the favor and talk to me. Mohamed.
Cannot force people to talk.
Mohamed, what was the promise that you made in Ohio before you left Ohio?
She's kind of got him there. That whole final conversation in Ohio just flashed before his eyes and left him speechless. But you know what? I actually think both of them are in the wrong on this one. Because while he did completely air her for weeks after saying that they'd remain friends, he did specify that they'd only remain friends if she didn't bring any drama into his life. And this is literally doing exactly that. Still, she hasn't caused any drama for the last few weeks, so that doesn't really excuse him completely airing her. And he probably could have replied once or twice to at least set some boundaries on the friendship and not let her feel completely abandoned by him, because she was never going to take that well. Either way, I'm not surprised he reacted in such a hostile manner. She talks to him in such a condescending way. The way she was repeating his name made her sound like a parent talking to a toddler, or a pet owner talking to their dog. It must be so jarring to be spoken to like that as an adult.
If you want to come to my place, I will talk to you, but it's gonna be for the last time.
We will never ever talk anymore. This is the last time.
After tonight, if you text me, you call me, if you contact me like any way, I will just go and try to get restraining order against you.
It sounds a little harsh the way he's saying it, but it's not surprising that he's taking that approach, is it? She has come to rekindle a marriage that is completely dead in the water. Like, there is absolutely nothing to talk about as far as he's concerned. He has no interest in any of it. And now, given her aim was to win him back, and he's just expressed quite clearly that he doesn't want her there, what is there to even gain from meeting up with him one more time? At this point, she needs to just accept it and go back home before she ends up drenched in tears with a permanent criminal record to her name.
I'm warning you.
Mohamed, don't warn me and don't threaten me.
We'll talk about it if you come tonight.
She never seems to take anything seriously, does she? That unnerving smile that she has when talking about serious topics makes it seem like everything is a game to her. I don't think she realizes how serious this potentially is. And she says don't warn me or threaten me, but what choice has he got? He's tried everything. He left her, moved to another state, moved in with another woman, said out loud that he wasn't interested in her, told her to grow up and move on, and yet she still forced her way back into his life again. If he doesn't threaten her with legal action, how else is he actually going to get her to leave him alone?
Oh, see. Oh, he can sit there and threaten me. To God, the police are gonna restraining order and telling me this is the last time he'll talk to me.
How can she sit there having rocked up to a different state, threatening to turn up to his house uninvited, and say she doesn't know why he's threatening to call the police? The fact that she just doesn't get any of it is so worrying. I get that she's heartbroken, and accepting that things are really over doesn't always come quickly or easily, but she is so far gone, so in denial and so delusional that she's a danger to herself, and even a danger to Mohamed. This is where she needs her friend Beth to come in and figuratively slap some sense into her. If she does go to Mohamed's house with her on the offensive and him counterattacking, there is no way that this is going to end in anything other than an explosive mess.
I feel like he lied in Ohio. Damn it. No, Mohamed. I should have known. He wouldn't keep his promises.
Well, maybe it's finally time that she realizes that he doesn't want her in his life anymore. Maybe remaining friends was just never going to work for them, and I think it left her with a small amount of hope that only prolonged the pain. Unfortunately for Danielle, the pain isn't over yet, because despite Mohamed making it crystal clear that he has no intention of working on the marriage, Danielle is still going to see him tomorrow night. So if you're enjoying the saga and you don't want to miss the couple's most explosive fight in their time on the show, please feel free to subscribe down below so you can catch the next video as soon as I upload it. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.